We went across to the west on Saturday, Jetto, me and Brownie. We saw a good side. We saw two good sides.
We fly around the world, do we?
It's a really good game of footy. Port Adelaide and Fremantle, two really evenly matched teams, Brownie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Freo a lot. I know you see him a lot, Jared, live, and gee, there's some excitement there. I mean, there's two really good sides over in the west, Johnny, but what we saw from Fremantle was a world-class midfield group complemented by a really reliable back half and a forward line that's a work in progress, and they got it done. Ross Lyon's got something to work with.
I was really impressed seeing them live and first hand, and I don't know, West Coast being the defending premiers, I don't even think they're the best team in Western Australia. I think Fremantle are on there.
Hang on a minute.
No,
You're obviously not going back to the West for a couple of months.
No, I've checked my roster, Jerry, before we came on air. But no, the West Coast went over a terrific effort last year. But I'm going to have a look at we saw a lot of stuff, but I'll just put this out there first, the premiership profile. So all of these indicators, if you're in the top 5 of all of these things, usually points to a premiership, or certainly right up there contending for a premiership. Let's have a look at how West Coast are. They're nowhere near the top 5 in any of those stats. Now, at Fremantle, 3 out of the top 5. So that suggests they're in contention. They're starting to head in the right direction. They've had good away wins against GWS and Collingwood at the MCG. They're the best last quarter team in the competition. They've got a world-class midfield, as you said. I think Jesse Hogan's getting back into form. There's a lot of real positives, and I think they've got the best draw to finish. They play 8, their last 10 games, they play the 8 bottom sides. So now, I know it's hard to point to draws, so you've got to be careful of that, but I reckon we've got enough data now, halfway through the season, to go, they should finish top 4 or certainly be knocking on the door.
Brucey, you're the expert of the rebuild, and when Ross said he was going to go to the draft and rebuild, I think that we all thought optimistic for a 2 or 3 year turnaround, but it's not going to be far off, and they've had some major players change clubs in the 3 years. Here's a list changes for all clubs since 2016.
Just 12 players on that list.
Yeah, I agree. I think what you see now, though, is how if your better players are playing really well, gives you a chance, doesn't it? Because if they've got some good young kids, I reckon what they've done this year is push them a bit more out the periphery. I think last year we saw those young kids inside. You've seen Mickey Walters play mainly midfield. You've seen Mundy go back inside the midfield. You look at Brayshaw's sort of been pushed out a little bit, Swakowski, etc., etc. And I think they've done a really good job. You need your better players playing really, really good football.
Well, they're all changes that have occurred in the space of 3 years.
Conker coming in as a senior player. Brad Hill's playing some terrific football. Langdon on the other wing's playing really well.
I know a lot like about Conker too, Rosie. He's brought a bit of a defensive presence to their midfield. So we know, Walters, Fife and Mundy, they all love to charge forward out of the midfield. But Conker's that sort of accountable midfielder. Yeah. It sort of just balances them up, I reckon.
You've been drinking clearly on Saturday night.
Just hang on 1 second. Just on that, Ross Lyon was... The knock on Ross, if there was a knock, was whether he could do a rebuild. Yeah. I mean, that graphic was really telling, isn't it? No one else in the competition's turned over lists more than him.
And he's got him playing exciting footy. I'll go back to my allegation of you drinking.
Why is that?
Because over the last 20 years I've known you've never wrapped the ruckman up in your life. And yet, quarter 4, you went over the top.
I did. Well, at three-quarter time, we looked at... There was a play just prior to the three-quarter time siren where Paddy Ryder led inside 50 and Big Shawnee Darcy was trailing. So we thought at three-quarter time, this is going to be a big question, whether this young man that hasn't played much footy against Ryder and Lycett's going to hold up. Well, not only did he hold up, it was only Michael Walters that had a bigger say. Look at these, just silver service, if you don't mind. And against Lycett, he took him to... Don't you laugh, Jared? You'd like to be on the end of this sort of stuff. Now, all right, there is one coming up that maybe he got credited with that he did in this one here. No. But he was absolutely magnificent. And I know Rossi downplayed it after the game, which is fair enough.
He would have told him to watch the replay. I think the commentary down, I reckon, turn the last quarter. He had 12 hit-outs, 6 hit-outs to advantage in the last quarter. He had a rest for 1 minute, rucking against Lycett and Ryder, a young bloke. He was enormous, the big farmer from Cobden. Yeah. He was magnificent.
We were going over the top, Brownie and I, but I think Rossi's just put him back in his box post-game.
Yeah, I thought he competed. There'll be plenty of improvement in him. But, we picked him to do a job and he needed to do the job, and I don't think he was perfect, but I thought he competed, so he'll have to focus on recovery.
Come on, Rossi, give us. What's
He
that,
wasn't
Rosie?
far off.
Focusing on recovery. Hey, moving on to the next week,
Give him
Gary.
something. He was great.
Where do you think they're at, Gaz? The Fremantle.
I know, I like them. I'm not as bullish as a top 4 spot, but they are absolutely in the
They're
mix.
the best side in WA.
I haven't got them that far, but I'm my man here. I like when he goes big.
I love Jesse Hogan's performance here.
It's going to be a big contest next week against Melbourne, isn't it?
They got the market wrong
Yes.
right now. If you wanted to even just have a look, they got the Melbourne are overwhelming favourites for that. There is no chance that they are favourites.
Stephen May play on Jesse Hogan?
I hope so, because that might just put all the arguments to bed one way or the other.
Well, Hogan, the way he went on the weekend, he was fantastic. It was an all-round centre-half forwards game or a key forwards game for me. The contested marks, he worked hard all around the ground. He kicked his 3 goals. 11 marks for the day, 17 touches, 3 goals. I thought it was a terrific
Well,
display
the
for
way
a
he
man
took
that
his-
didn't touch the ball until late in the first
Yeah,
quarter.
the way he took his marks, Brownie, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Back
it was.
to that, the rising star year where reading the play, running back, coming at the ball, coming across. There's some really, really good. And he'll only get better. And Stephen Hill's the other one. I mean, Stephen Hill we know is an absolute A-grader when he gets to. So they've got some serious upside. I know they've got some injuries, but they've got some upside in that team as well.
Michael Walters, again, an amazing performance and entertaining both before the final siren and after the final siren.
It was good to get the win, but sorry about that. It was good to get the win, but I mean it's all the hard work from everyone there. We put in the hard work throughout the week. We had a good break, but now we're mentally fresh and we need to go.
Some are suggesting he's the best player in the game right now. Is he the best player there, or is Fife just having an unbelievable year and no one's talking about
Gaz
it?
had him getting 800 grand halfway through the last quarter. You had him getting
Michael
800
Walters,
grand.
unders that was.
was.
By the end of the game.
I think ball in hand, though. Like,
There's no who's playing better there. I know we love. It's just an argument right now. I'd take him.
he's
right.
the most efficient player in the competition.
Yeah.
And what's he had? 25 and kicked 6.
And
He
lane
just doesn't
tackles,
miss. He doesn't miss a
clearances.
doesn't miss a kick around the ground. He doesn't miss a shot at goal. He's the most efficient. Whether he's the best or not, but he's certainly the most efficient player in
Great
the
to watch
competition.
live.